For 50 years, there's been this one name that's, well, it's more than just a name. It's an event, a full-blown cultural force. He's not just an actor, he's a phenomenon who's had this magnetic grip on the silver screen for generations. So, what's the secret sauce? What's the formula behind the incredible, enduring story of Rajinikanth? Let's break it down.
For the longest time, the lines in cinema were drawn pretty clearly, right? You had your good guy, you had your bad guy. Simple. But then, something really interesting started to happen. Like it says here, audiences began to admire the villain more than the hero. Now, this wasn't just some passing trend. It was a fundamental shift in storytelling, and it had a very specific origin point.
So, who was it? Who was at the center of this massive shift? Who had so much raw charisma that they could actually get audiences to question why they were even rooting for the traditional hero in the first place? Well, the answer to that is where our story really kicks off. And that brings us right to his explosive entry. Because here's the thing about the Rajinikanth phenomenon. It didn't start with him saving the day. Oh no, it began with him completely stealing the show as the bad guy. An antagonist so captivating, he basically rewired what audiences expected from the moment he first appeared on screen. And just think about who he was sharing the screen with. We're not talking about small-time actors here. We're talking about the absolute titans of that era. Legends like Kamal Hassan, the great Sivaji Ganesan, Jaishankar Sivakumar. He was cast as the villain against these giants, and yet, scene after scene, who did everyone's eyes gravitate towards? Him. He wasn't just a supporting character, he was like a gravitational force, pulling the entire spotlight away from the biggest heroes of the day. But look, being a captivating villain, that only gets you so far. To build a career that lasts 50 years, you need more than just charisma. You need some serious, undeniable range. And he was about to prove to absolutely everyone that his talent ran way deeper than they could have ever imagined.
This was the real turning point. Films like Malaram, where he played a guy who loses an arm but never his fiery pride, or Arilarudu Arbudavarai, which took you through one man's entire life of struggles. These weren't just movies. They were deep, powerful character studies. And they cemented his reputation, transforming him from that charismatic villain into a true powerhouse performer. And his versatility was just wow, it was astonishing. He didn't just dabble in other genres, he completely mastered them. One minute he could be the fiery, aggressive young man in films like Thee, and then in the blink of an eye he'd deliver this disarming, brilliant comedy in Philamulu. He could break your heart with raw emotion, command the screen as a romantic lead, and even make films for kids that became absolute classics. Every role was a completely different dimension, proving he was less an actor and more of a chameleon.
All right, so he'd proven his charisma as a villain, he'd proven his depth as a serious actor, so what's left? Well, now it was time for the final transformation, from being a versatile performer to becoming the commercial emperor, building a throne in the world of mass cinema that, honestly, is still unshaken to this day. The real catalyst for this total market domination was a film from 1980 called Marathokalai. It was the spark that lit a wildfire. The appeal of this movie just cut across every single demographic, from the biggest cities to the smallest villages. This was the film that brought every kind of movie fan under one single banner. This is where his incredible star power really began to consolidate.
What came next was just this unbelievable 1-2-3 punch that cemented his legacy forever. In '92, you have Animalai, which set the whole template for his commercial dominance. Then in '95 came Basha. That film didn't just break records, it redefined the entire concept of a mass hero. And then, just a few years later, Padayappa showed up and left zero doubt in anyone's mind who the undisputed king was. It was just an unstoppable, historic run.
And his kingdom wasn't just confined to one region. With these mega blockbusters like Sivaji and Indiran, his influence just exploded. You can see the progression right here, from completely dominating the Tamil market to conquering all of India, and then eventually becoming a pan-Asian superstar. His appeal just shattered language barriers, making him one of the highest-paid actors on the whole continent.
But how does any star keep this level of success going for 5 decades? What's so amazing is that he isn't just a legend of the past, he is a massive box office force right now. The ageless lion's reign is far from over, and his method for doing it is nothing short of brilliant.
The secret really comes down to one phrase: strategic evolution. See, this isn't about an actor trying to chase his youth. No, this is about the rare intelligence to pick roles that actually fit his age, characters with real gravitas and experience, while never ever losing that core superstar charisma that audiences fell in love with in the first place. It's a masterclass in how to build a long career.
And the results? Well, they speak for themselves. Recent blockbusters like Kala, Kabali, Peta, and of course the massive global success of Jailer, they all prove his power hasn't faded one bit. These aren't just nostalgia-driven hits, they are modern, relevant films that show his connection with today's audiences is as powerful and electric as it's ever been.
It all comes down to this number: 50. 50 years in cinema. I mean, to not only survive in this industry for that long, but to be at the absolute peak of your game in your Golden Jubilee year, that's almost unheard of. It is a staggering, truly monumental achievement.
In the end, it really is as simple and as powerful as this metaphor. In the massive, competitive jungle of cinema, many stars will come and go. But as 5 decades have proven beyond any doubt, the lion is always the king.
Which leaves us with one final fascinating question. After 50 years of rewriting the rules of stardom, what could possibly be this lion's next hunt? We don't have the answer, but one thing is for sure: when it happens, the entire world is going to be watching.